welcome to Traveling Inside Out. This is Alina, your host. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the podcast that explores the world within and out. And this time around, for the live bonus episodes, we are exploring an advent tea calendar. First time ever when I'm doing any sort of advent calendars. And without uh, losing more time, wasting more time, I'm gonna go to number two, which is cozy cocoa black tea. Mm, I'm very curious how this one smells. Cozy cocoa black tea. It says, let's see what it says. Obviously, it contains caffeine. Hmm, it smells interesting. So I'm gonna let it sip. It says that it's supposed to infuse for 3 to 5 minutes. There we go. On the back, it says black tea and chocolate flavor. That's the tea for today. Again, not a sponsor. I got my advent calendar from Aldi. It's Tea Co. Banner, the company. And I'm not going to try to show it again because last time when I tried to show it, the camera doesn't properly work. Anyway, how is everybody, especially replay crew, because there is almost nobody watching me live? I have decided to talk about one of my hobbies for the day. No, the hobbies is forever. The subject is for the day. I will mention in the new podcast that is coming out today. It already came out. Oh my god. This weekend, because it was Thanksgiving and there was days off from Thursday onwards, I keep forgetting what day of the week we are in. So the podcast already came out. You can listen wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that already came out. And I am talking about the challenges or what we talked about in the beginning of the year, how we see the year to happen. And one of the things that I mentioned back in January, I'm not referring to it in the other episode, is crocheting a blanket. I said that I want to. Did I say? Either way, I said that I want to crochet. Now that I think about it, I don't think that I talk about that. I think I talked about that in February. I don't think I talked about that in January. Regardless, I said the plan was to crochet one square, granny square per day for the whole year. So then I can make a blanket out of it. I'm not gonna give the spoilers of how many squares I've managed to crochet. I'm gonna wait until I'm talking with Andra about it. However, I do want to give you a bit of the colors that I've used. I know that in the crochet community, there's a humongous debate regarding if you should block or not block your granny squares. And blocking means that you take a granny square. Okay, you take a granny square and then you make it wet or like soak a little, and then you fix it in some needles. Then afterwards it would keep the structure. And I think I will be forced to do that because my I'm not great at crocheting. I'm crocheting, but I'm not great at it. My squares don't have the same size, so I think blocking will help me give them the same size. But so this is what color. Let me not show all of the colors all at once. So I've just brought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just brought five squares. All of them are colorful because that's what I wanted and because I love colors. But also I changed the color because in the beginning the idea was to um make it similar to the seasons, to the 4 seasons that a regular country would have, or temperate climate has. And it would mean that each season will have specific colors and different colors. I kind of abandoned, and I was meant to do the colors in that season. I dropped the the idea kind of fast. But I do have some colors that would match the season. However, um, I didn't fully manage to do that, also because I was getting bored of a color. So I've also chose different kind of yarn. The only constant is that it's all cotton, 100% cotton, and that was important to me. But the colors now are all over the place, especially since I got different brands of cotton, of yarn. So you're going to see, I'm going to show you the next color. So the next color is this. I have more than what I'm going to show, as I was saying. And also, for some reason, I think I've used a bigger hook for this, because this one and with this one they don't match. Or maybe I left it more frou-frou with this one. I have no idea. It is my first time ever when I'm crocheting a blanket out of granny squares. I've made other small projects from granny squares before, and that kind of worked. But cotton is a little bit more stiff than other materials, or at least the cotton that I have. More or less, because I also got cotton that is really soft. Anyway, let's have a first sip. Let's mix it up. As I said, I didn't think through how to have a system. So I'm gonna put it back into the socket that it came from. I also have to mention that I usually drink my black tea the majority of the time with a splash of milk. And when I say a splash of milk, I truly mean a splash of milk. But this time around, because I'm tasting the tea, I don't want to get anything in it. Cheers. It really smells. Smells. It really smells like. Wait a second. Yeah, it does have a cocoa flavor, and it's so weird because it's tea. So in a way, my brain is like, why is this tea tasting like chocolate? Because normally hot chocolate is hot chocolate. This is very Christmassy, to be honest with you. A tea that tastes like chocolate can get better than that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, it's 2nd of December. Yesterday was National Day. I failed in making bread. So I usually like to have some bake bread or bagels or anything like that, because I also love the smell of homemade bread. However, my bread was a big failure. There were too many, I've done too many different things than the previous week when I made the bread, in such a way that it got stuck to the bottom of the pan, of the tray, or whatever you want to call it. And so my bread has no bottom, basically. It's just the dough. The I mean, it's all baked and all that. It's just that I did too many things differently than the previous time, and I haven't made, like, I made a piece, like a loaf of bread 2 weeks ago, and since before that I haven't made bread in like maybe months and months and months and months. So I guess I'm getting back into it, easing myself back into it. um and I I was disappointed in my piece of bread. However, this morning I had two slices of bread, and other than the fact that it doesn't have no bottom, it's not that bad. It is not that bad at all. Okay, the next color that I'm gonna show you. So this is what I was referring when I bought this yarn. I didn't realize, because sometimes I just don't think, and I have to be honest about it. Sometimes I simply do not think. Um, when I bought the yarn, it was small. How did I imagine that I'm gonna make a big blanket with yarn that comes in this size? So realizing how expensive it's getting, I was like, ooh, I can't keep buying this kind of yarn. However, this is soft and nice compared with this one. This is soft and nice, so I would love to have a blanket full of this, but this would be so crazy expensive. However, this is even smaller. So it's even smaller than this, or it's not. I'm wrong. Or maybe just this one is really big. Maybe that's the problem. Um, okay, I have two more colors to show you, and these two colors are the last two yarn that I bought. And I want to say something, also something crazy or not, depending how you see this. Um, the fact that I was okay, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I can just tell you that at some point I bought more yarn without realizing that I don't need more yarn. I can just leave it to that. So now I have new yarn that I need to make something out of it. I was really thinking to just sell it. There was a sale at again, not sponsored, at Michael's. So I got three big chunks of yarn, and now I'm like, so I have to, let's sip a cup of tea. A cup of tea, a sip of, let's sip a sip of tea. How do you say that? Mm, I like this tea. However, it feels a bit wrong in my head, so I'm gonna give it a 4 compared to the 5 of yesterday. Do you think I'm gonna remember every day what numbers I gave? Unlikely. Um, but this is a 4 because it just tastes a bit weird. It doesn't make sense to my brain. Like it tastes chocolatey, but it's a tea. I don't know. I'm maybe if this I would sip it direct, or maybe the milk would really make a difference with this one. I'm happy that I have another tea bag in each day, so then I can, technically I should share with my husband, but in reality I'm gonna drink the other ones. um because my husband has another kind of advent calendar, and that includes hot sauces. Alrighty. um so the last two yarns that I got, they were about, I was like, let me do autumn and let me do winter. So then I got this beautiful color that screams autumn to me. If this is not autumny, then I truly don't know what the heck is autumn. This is so pretty. So, so, so pretty. However, this one has a bit of a puff that I truly don't like. And I think because I got some on my nose, I know when I was crocheting, I got some on my nose, and I didn't necessarily like it. Uh, I just hope that it's not gonna be affecting the, what I'm trying to do with the blanket. Um, the thing is that I do not have the blocking thing, the blocking, and I need to buy it, or I need to see if I can find it somewhere in a secondhand store. I don't know. Um, yeah, so I'm not very, very, very sure about how to block, and I need to read a little bit more about blocking crochet granny squares, because outside of the fact that there's a lot of people who are saying that is not needed, I also believe that I haven't done enough research to see all of the ways, or what's the easiest way that you can block crochet granny squares. Did I explain what blocking means for people who don't understand? I hope I did. Oh no, I just saw a mistake. This is so frustrating when you see, and I made so many mistakes in my. So, as you, did I just show the last one? Shh, you didn't see it. As you see, there are basically three little, um, 1, 2, 3 for each one of them. Cannot tell you how many times I did four. I was too late into the project, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go back to it. So some of them are just four. And in a way, I feel like with these mistakes, it kind of shows that it's me and it's made by me, because I'm not perfect and I don't ever say that I am, and I never act like I am. And especially when I crochet things, there are so many mistakes that can happen. And I think in everything that I crochet so far, I have mistakes, which again makes it mine. I'm not selling anything. Maybe I would at some point, but even if I would sell it, I would be like, oopsie, a mistake, or I don't know. I'm curious for people who buy crochet things if they would feel put off. If you see, oh my God, my lips are so dry. I'm sorry. If people with crochet that buy crochet, if they would be put off if you see a mistake. Um, I'm curious. Even though it kind of bothers me. I guess that would be horrible for someone who has OCD, to know that there's something that is not quite perfect. It would probably bother them. Anyway, yesterday, to finish the point, the the bread was not okay. And so in the end, the one thing that I did to still keep the tradition was to make mulled wine. So we had a cup of mulled wine, my husband and I, and it was really good. I've used oranges and all sort of spices, and then we made what did we make? We make tuna steaks with pasta, and it was really good. Honestly, I love cooking with my husband when we split the things what we're doing. But this time around, I was the only one cooking. We cook together quite a lot or often, but this time around, it was just me making the tuna steak. It was really good. Okay, let me show you the last one, which, if this is not Christmassy, it is Christmassy, right? So, I just realized this is a podcast that the main thing is that people are listening to it. So let's go back to them. The first granny square that I showed was um purple greenish kind of a square. They are all degradé. I don't know how you say degradé in English. I'm saying degradé. I think that's a Romanian word. So the first one is a degradé. Then the next one is a lot of pink and white degradé. Then a light blue kind of towards maybe turquoise or something like that. Then when I was saying autumny, it's green and yellow, and I don't know the name of this red color, grena maybe, I don't know. That feels very autumny, and then the Christmas one is white, red, and green. That is just so perfect. So those are just some of the colors that I have. Now I have been thinking how to place them because I don't have specific numbers. I don't have specific. Um, yeah, I need to see how to place them. Either very trying to find an organization of some sorts, or to have it very how do you call it? Um, Disorganized, like just random. But then I need to make sure, because that's the thing, when you make things random, they also need to be very randomized. So that meaning that it will have to be, to make sure that it's not following a pattern. So I will see how I'm gonna do this. I kind of came up with a few ideas for uh maybe half a blanket. I already know how I want to do it, but then I'm confused about the rest. So maybe I will have to readdress. For someone who says that is tasting tea, I for sure have not drink enough of it, and we are almost at the end of the episode. Yeah, number four. If I'm gonna drink it a bit more, I'm gonna make it a 3.5. So anyway, thank you for joining today, and come back tomorrow because we're gonna taste another tea. Thank you for joining. Bye. This concludes today's episode. Thank you for listening and for reviewing Traveling Inside Out. If you want to get in touch with me, send an email to podcast@alinaigrad.com. And remember, your outdoor journey begins with inner work. Until next time, bye!